Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Evolving with Soul. I'm Josette Diaz, and I am your host. And I am a self awareness coach, and I specialize in working with midlife women. And I help them with creative strategies so that they can get closer to who they truly are, understand their own rhythm by slowing down, listening deeply, and connecting within. I run a beautiful group called The Art of Awareness, where ladies get to connect through art and find their own revelations and build community with one another. So, Evolving with Soul is an enlightening and empowering conversation series that dives into the transformative journey of self discovery, personal growth, and inner wisdom. Each episode is designed to inspire and guide you toward deeper self awareness, offering practical tools, spiritual insights, and meaningful reflections to help you evolve with intention. And I bring together various experts in the different fields so that you have all the wise women collected, and it will help you find your own way and path through your journey. So let's get started and bring the ladies on. I have Vasi Huntalis and Daniela uh, Do Dohnert. Can you pronounce that for me,
Dohnert.
Danielle? Dohnert.
Dohnert.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, let me let you know who these lovely ladies are. So Daniela is a professional visual artist and certified life coach who immigrated to Florida with her family in 2012, seeking new opportunities and experiences. And the cultural shift brought challenges of isolation and a longing for meaningful connection. In 2015, Daniela took a transformative course that helped her bridge cultural differences and discover a shared human experience of loneliness. Inspired by this journey, she pursued certifications as a life coach, health coach, catalyst trainer, and mindset trainer in 2022. Her chapter in Heal to Lead, Volume 2, reveals how she used art as a powerful tool to heal a profound emotional wound, offering readers insights into the transformative potential of creativity. So today, Daniela combines her artistic expertise and coaching skills to empower young people and their parents. So her work fosters improved family relationships, boosts self-esteem, and inspires young people to find motivation. Now, that's quite a feat for a person to take and to move from one end of the spectrum to another. So we're really, excited to have Daniela with us. And then I'd like to introduce Vasi Huntalis, who is a dear friend of mine, and she is also the founder of Ignite Your Soul. She guides women entrepreneurs to break through their comfort zone so they unlock their next level of impact and joy. As a mindset coach and professional intuitive, she quickly clears limiting beliefs so women move forward with greater clarity, confidence, and creativity. Through Vasi's own journey, she broke free from her inner critic and pioneered an intuitive painting process that helped hundreds of people embrace art as a tool for healing and transformation. So you can see just by me reading and introducing these beautiful women that we have a lot to cover and some really great insight that we're going to be, reviewing and going over. So thank you, ladies, for being here. How are you both?
I'm doing great
Good.
here. Yeah, glad to be
Hold
here
on.
with both of you.
Yes, it's so nice to have you both here. Are you ready to get started and start having a conversation?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this morning we're going to be talking about creativity as a tool for navigating transitions. And I know you both have tons of knowledge around this and wisdom to share with the audience. So I'd like to start with, how has creativity helped you navigate major transitions in your life? Let's start there. Vasi, can I start with you, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, creativity connects me with my sense of adventure and curiosity because I love to play in creativity. And so it's, there's a seriousness that comes in when we're making a transition. And I know at different times in my life, whether it be maybe I'm moving to a new area or I'm sensing something's like in the works, change for my career or business, I just, it just really helps me to like open my mind to what's possible and move out of the fear of so things like journaling, painting, those are some of my favorite ways. And also clay too. I love working with my hands, using shaping something, there's something like metaphorical about that, right?
Yes, that's interesting. I like that because it's that tactile, the mind physical connection to molding something.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. What
So
about you, Daniela?
yeah, I can tell you that for me, the way it's helped me is whenever I am at a moment where I'm going from one space to the other, and I don't mean just a physical space, but also a mental space, I take the time to draw. To draw, my favorite thing to draw are not so much colors, but oil pastels. I really love oil pastels. And I just kind of focus into what I'm feeling and start drawing. And through that, I get a lot of clarity as to what's going on, even interpreting my own drawings, what they might mean or where they might come from. And usually I incorporate a little bit of like breathing and relaxation before I draw so that I get more in touch with whatever is going on.
Yeah.
And in creativity, I would say also conversations are creativity, and having conversations with other people about it kind of inspire my creativity.
So what would you both say is like the most, I mean, this might be hard to nail down, but what would you find is like the most enlightening thing that you've discovered through your art? Or is there a series of things or an example that you can give that can show the audience how art can help them reveal things to themselves or discover?
So let's see, an example that I would probably share is around the intuitive painting process that I used to do as a kid and revived as I was an adult. And I love to and sometimes I'll just close my eyes and I'll just have all my paint set out and I'll just touch something. Let's see, what am I drawn to? And I'll pick the color that I'm drawn to, even with my eyes closed. And I'll use my hands or objects from nature. And I'll use acrylics or watercolors or pastels, whatever I have set out in front of me. And I just allow the colors to speak to me and the shapes to come to me. And it's a beautiful process because I feel like I'm just completely trusting my heart, my soul to lead me into the shapes, the images, the whatever is unfolding, in front of me. And then afterwards, there's a process I do where I have some like sentence starters. It's funny, I used to use questions, but I found like sentence starters are really kind of will bring something deeper. It's like, I am aware that, or I feel that, or I am she who, like just have that artwork speak to me. And then I just start writing what I'm hearing until I don't hear anything more. I'm complete. So it's a reflection back to me of that innate wisdom. I mean, it's all of us, really. And so that's one of the ways that I use creativity to reflect back to me my own wisdom, my own intuition, and perhaps even the intelligence in the universe that's wanting to communicate to me, but for some reason I'm not open to it or I'm not receiving it fully.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you can't really hear everything, right?
Yeah.
I find that for myself that there will be things that I might be blocked from in the moment because I have an attachment to it, and so I don't allow myself to see it. I haven't let it go enough to be able to see it. So art then brings that message in, And I can't help but think about the painting behind you, Vasi, because I know that there is something that revealed itself to you in that painting. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. I was leading a group program of women who wanted to be more visible in their life and the art of their life and their business. And marketing, the languaging doesn't come easy to me. So I paint often before I go to do something. And I said, what is it about this group I'm supposed to speak to in the languaging and promoting of it? And this is the painting that came through. And when I asked, what are you the energy of? That's one of the things I do with my paintings. What are you the energy of after I've painted it? It said authenticity.
Mm.
And so that just brought in a whole richness to talking about that group. And it's all about us being authentic. And a lot of times people say, oh, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be vulnerable. To me, this painting shared with me about how important it is to bring the energy of authenticity into our voice, into our message, into our purpose, for life.
Yeah.
And so that's what this one is. And this is one, most of mine, probably 90% are done without any brushes or any traditional means of painting. I don't even remember what I used to do this. Definitely my hands. It can get really messy, but fun and playful.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vasi, for sharing all of that. Daniela, what would you say?
Like for me, it's actually similar to what Vasi was explaining. I just tend to do it more on a bigger scale. I just take
Mhm.
paints and whatever surface I can get my hands on, I just start dripping paint on it and allowing my hand and my body to move in the way that I think releases whatever is trapped there. And at the end of everything being done, sometimes it's not one piece that needs to be done, but several. And once they're all done, I kind of look back at them and can reflect on what it was that had me stuck that revealed itself. And if there's anything else that I need to release at the moment, then I have access to do that.
So, and I have to point out that you're painting behind you because you
The
and I
one in the
talked
corner.
about this. Yeah. We talked about how you went through this period. Are you still in the same period where the circles or
The
something?
circles are a thing. Circles, for me, circles and these kind of shapes that are like, they're not, there's a name for them and now the name is not coming for it. It's not a diamond, but it's more like an almond shape.
Mm-hmm.
Almond shapes and circles have been, I think, since I started going through art school, it was all about almonds and circles, whether it was in painting, in woodworking, a steel sculpture, whatever it was almonds and circles. So it's something about almonds and circles.
I love that. It's so great. Do you normally paint on canvas?
No, I usually what I tend to use is wood. I
Oh,
tend to
okay.
paint on wood because I add, I'm a fused glass artist as well, and I add some fused glass onto the paintings. Sometimes the fused glass directs the painting, other times it just complements it.
Oh, how beautiful. Vasi, you mentioned that you use different unconventional tools. What are some of those tools that you like to use as well?
Oh, let's see. One of my all-time favorites is bubble wrap. And I love to use it with metallic paints. And often when I'm done with a painting, I'll use the bubble wrap with metallic. I also like to use sticks. Sometimes I'll go on walks with the intention of finding inspirational materials to paint with.
Yeah.
And gosh, everything from pine cones to sticks. I mean, some of them have been dismal failures. They've broken apart. And then others have been like, oh my gosh, I was painting with celery once. And I was like, this is so cool. Because what happens is that, our left brain just doesn't know what to do,
Mhm.
And then it just like inspires creativity and that playfulness and that curiosity. Like, I wonder if I dip it in this and wonder if I do that. Let's see what some other materials that I've used. Leaves, you name it. pretty much.
Sponges? I know about the sponges.
Love sponges. Yes, sponges are
Yeah.
great. Usually sea sponges,
Gauze.
but if I'm in a don't have one around, I'll use a kitchen sponge and cut it up. That's the other thing is you
Oh,
can
nice.
take objects and use parts of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I love that because I think sometimes that often we think that, you keep yourself in a box even when you're doing something creative. And I think you kind of nailed it, Vasi, when you said the word curiosity, and to allow yourself to really get curious about what things will do if you do this and if you do that. And Daniela, painting on wood, that I imagine is like, it takes a certain amount of practice and technique just purely from the absorption of the paint into the wood.
Yeah, well, I usually put some preparation on the wood first, either just by pouring white paint on it, so that it would, because some of the woods, they get the little sticks start coming up when you're painting them, and sometimes it's fine, but other times I don't like how it looks, so I put a couple of layers of either house paint, just white house paint, that has a primer on it, so
Yeah.
it dries up, and then I go on to do the painting, or I use some gesso on it before.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So have either of you found that, like, whenever you're handling, emotions, and you aren't sure what to do with the emotion, or you feel, a certain way, like I sometimes have used art when I'm confused about something, I'm trying to process something or work it out, or if I feel angry, so that I can get underneath the anger and really discover what the truth is underneath that. What are some of the ways that your favorite ways or methods that you like to use in those moments, and how do you go about that process? What moves you to the place of using creativity?
So I can start with that one if I can.
Yeah, please.
It depends if you're talking about me personally, that I'm stuck with like a feeling of anger or frustration and I'm not sure what it's about. Then usually what I do is that I use watercolors, and I just wet the paper a lot, and with my finger, whatever color I'm drawn to, I start placing my finger with that color on the painting in as many on the paper in as many layers or as many times as I feel that it needs to happen, until it becomes clear what it is that is bothering me. So that's when it comes to me. If I'm helping somebody else, I usually just walk them through a process of visualizing where they see they're at, and then have them do a drawing of it. And in that drawing, and in that, not so much in the drawing, in the explanation of the drawing, a lot of things are revealed.
Yeah. And do you find that, like, your clients have an easier path to getting that information when they're expressing through art?
When they're expressing through art, yes. Yet, to be honest, it doesn't happen the first time that we meet. It takes a little while for the client also, even if they are artists and they feel comfortable with art, to feel comfortable with explaining their art.
Yeah, that's a whole
Yes.
different thing, right? Because your art can be so personal, just
Yes.
like writing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so expressing it to another human being is a different access of your skill set, but what a great way to access that for yourself. Vasi, what would you say? What would be your answer to that?
Yeah, well, I find that when I'm confused or someone else is confused, oftentimes about what they're feeling, it's because they're up here in their head as opposed to their body. So I start by doing some breathing, some movement. One of my favorite things is to put a paper on like a big flip chart page size thing on the wall, and just put on music and start dancing and starting to use paint to like get connected with where those emotions are too. So painting from my solar plexus, painting from my heart, which, maybe I'm upset about something, painting from maybe just a general sense of confusion or disorientation. Overwhelm, that's another big one, is the
Yeah.
emotion of overwhelm, because that can so take us off our center. And so there comes a time when the energy shifts in the painting, is what I found in the process of painting. And there's like a calmness. And it may not be totally calm, still like aware of the feelings, but a sense of, oh, now I can feel myself again. I'm not up here. I'm more like in the experience of myself. And it's hard to put words to this because it's a very experiential kinesthetic thing. I'm doing my best, but I'm hoping that you're getting a sense of what that's like. And then the questions that come afterwards, I think, are really profound. So what I've sat with a client and asked them questions and just invite them to speak or journal to the questions that I'm intuitively tuning into will help open that door, that portal to their heart, because really that's what it comes down to.
Right.
Is that the art helps us open the door to our heart, where our heart is where our wisdom is, our knowing for what's right and best and true for ourselves and what's in our highest good, which we've somehow closed the door for whatever's happened, that's gotten us in that pain and confusion.
What I hear both of you saying so much is that there truly is the process of getting out of your own way, allowing
Well
yourself
said.
to get into the art and just, remove all the, like you said, Vasi, in your head and, and I think do you find that both of you, do you find that your clients end up there after a series, like Daniela, you were saying that it takes a few times for them to start to get comfortable to be able to express what the art means?
Yeah.
So do you find that like they eventually start to have more of a embodiment with what they're discovering in their art?
I find personally that they start their intuition gets sharpened in general, and part of it is them being able to see what it is that they're really drawing, so that they can express it to you, and also in helping them consider, what would happen if you were a different being doing the same drawing. Would the interpretation be the same or not? And if the other interpretation would suit you better, would you be willing to take on the interpretation of a different being than yours? So that's why I say it takes time, because at the first time you say this to someone, they might be very resistant to your conversation
Right. Yeah.
But it's just that being open to that everybody interprets life in a different way. There is no one correct way. So you have the chance to interpret it as you feel.
I love that you brought that up about are you comfortable in this new being? Because I think that art can really be so transitional, so transformative for you, that if you remain open to it, you remain curious, like you've said, Vasi, that, that allows you to really step into this becoming of the person that you want to be or see yourself as or know yourself to be, and just can't seem to get rid of all the sabotage that, comes in for most people. Vasi, would you say that the people that you work with, your clientele, do they transition somewhat easily through art, or do you find it faster? Is it a faster vehicle for you in combination with the other things you do? I know you do some very great techniques, wonderful techniques. I'll let you answer the rest of that.
Yeah. Well, I think the magic of using art for people that I've seen and seen for myself and with clients is that it builds a self-trust. And that's often what's missing when we're in those places of confusion or overwhelm or lack of clarity. And so the art begins to, I can trust that I have my own answers. And I think that's part of the embodiment that you're talking about. It's like, I have a way that I can access it, because I love to give people ways that they can do this on their own. For example, visual journaling when we're not together or they're not in a workshop with me.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you take that back into your environment and continue to build that self-trust and even that self-love as well? It's a very nurturing aspect of self-care. And I know you talk about this, Josette, doing art, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like, how can that be a part of your life so that you're in that dialogue with your inner self, which has so much gold for you, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. I really feel that art is such a way of finding yourself. That's the one thing that I feel that I learned from, you know, in art, and allowing myself the freedom to really access that part of myself. And that's why I bring it to, the women. That's why I created a membership to help women dive into art so that they can find their answers with ease. And it doesn't have to be this constant searching. So many revelations are just revealed in one, of our art circles. So, and that journey that you take yourself on, I mean, I truly feel that it's such a journey that both of you are taking your clients and leading them to this way of showing them how to find their own answers. That, like you said, it's consistent uh, in their ability, and they can try different things on. And Daniela just really being able to like become this new person that they have put on paper, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a part I find more interesting, when people are willing to create who they want to be,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
not be limited to what they think is already there.
right. Well, I
Mhm.
feel we've given our audience a lot of things to talk about. Like we've talked about curiosity, which leads to, being brave and courageous and trying new things on. And we also talked about becoming, and releasing limiting beliefs around who we think we are. I think that's the biggest thing that I received from art, which really made me dive into it even more, is that I thought that I was one thing, and through art, I discovered I was much more. And I think that that is, a beautiful gift that both of you give to your clientele just by expression. So, what would be the one thing that you would want to convey to the audience around the work that you do and how creativity can help them to resolve
Okay.
that issue or problem that they might have? Daniela, can I start with you?
Yeah, sure. So what I would say is that there is a lot of wisdom inside of us, that we do not have access to that wisdom necessarily through words. And art, it puts the barriers down, so
Mhm.
that especially if you're uncomfortable doing art, it makes it a lot more comfortable for that a thing that you are not realizing is going on in your mind to come out, precisely because you are uncomfortable, and or you think you're not an artist. So
Mhm.
it's not that you have to be an artist or like art in order to have creativity help you realize things. It's you can be anybody, and just the fact of being open to create something where you're not comfortable allows new things to blossom.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniela. Vasi, I'd like you to answer that, and also if you could add in the intuitive piece that you've talked about and that you've
Sure.
created.
Yeah. So I just want to invite everyone listening to really open to this message I'm going to give you. And that's that you are a master creator of your life. You are. It has nothing to do, like Daniela said, with being an artist, because everyone's creative or born creative. And so my question to you is, how can you keep that alive on a daily basis? How can you keep connected to that truth? And let your intuition guide you. It could be different every day. It could be something you do in your kitchen, that you're cooking, that you're creative, or something you're doing in your garden, or the way you get dressed, or something like that. Like, just invite creativity into your life as a way of living, and trust how your intuition is going to lead you. And the other piece about your intuition is when you let go of trying to be perfect or getting it right, like even believing there's a right way, anything is possible for your life, for your creative expression. So set an intention, let that go, and instead embrace that I'm being perfectly me. And your intuition will lead you to the colors, to the medium, to the expression of whatever that looks like for you to be creative.
I love that. Gosh, you guys, thank you so much. This was just such a treat for me to like be here with both of you and get to listen to the wisdom that you both have and how you help your clients and how you do this on a personal level. It's, you walk your talk, you're doing the thing, right? Like, you're both in artistic people who are true artists, and allowing people the space to be creative is such a beautiful thing. It's such a gift. And so thank you so much for having this conversation with me. Is there anything that either of you have coming up? Would you like to share? I'm going to put all of your links in both the posts. We have 3 places we're going to be. We're going to be in LinkedIn, which we're live on, YouTube we're live on, and then I'll be posting it in Substack as well. So what would you like anyone to know about what you have coming up for yourselves?
Okay, so I can start with that. The main thing I want people to know is that I am excited about the book I mentioned, the Heal to Lead book, Volume 2. And if you're looking for a book that speaks about real life stories of different people that have used different techniques, because it's not only about art, we all use different techniques to overcome difficult times in their life, and that things that could be useful for you as well to overcome anything difficult that comes along. It's a must read. It's very well written, not only my chapter, but it's very well written in general. So I really suggest that you take a look at it. For now, that's the only thing I have going on online, because the other events that I have going on will be in person. So it's
Okay, but
you're workshop, a Valentine's Day workshop.
Okay, all right. And what part of the country are you in, and where will you be?
Sorry, I'm in Florida.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in Weston, Florida, which is between Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Well, if you provide me that information, I'll be sure to put it in so anyone in that part of town could come and visit you and sign up. Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Vasi, how about yourself?
A couple things. One is, if people want to stay connected, they can follow me. I'm about a month away from completing a book that includes sacred poetry that came from my intuitive painting, as well as a way for us to live our purpose on this earth. And one of the chapters is on creativity, but it's a lot of different aspects. So I'm excited to share that more in the coming month or two. And then the other thing is, I would invite people, if they have an interest in setting themselves up for an amazing year. I do a 20-minute intuitive session that I can give you the link for that, Josette, and you can put that in.
I will.
If people want to sign up for that. And it's a great way to clear a limiting belief, and also have a step that you go away with that like builds momentum for the year.
So nice. Both of you have such beautiful work, and I will be putting all of the links in. So thank you so much for being my guests. And for all of you out there, if you're interested in taking art to a community and you'd like to go deeper with some of this work, you can come to the Art of Awareness membership. And if you want to try it on, you can try it on. And I will put my website in the link there for you to do that if you like to sign up for that. at guidancetowellness.com. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And this was our very first episode, so I wouldn't have wanted it any other way with you two beautiful women. And I'm looking forward to having you back again. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Josette.
Thank you.